You Can Heal Your Life, by Louise Hay. This video book is a summary of the original work. The complete book by the author can be found at the link in the video description. Before proceeding with listening to the video book, we ask you to support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell. Stay with us until the end of the video and let us know what you think. Thank you. The author, Louise Hay, lived a life marked by adversity, detailed in a 2008 interview. She faced family violence, childhood abuse, and teenage pregnancy. The turning point came in New York in 1950 when, after a failed marriage, she discovered the power of positive thinking at the First Church of Religious Science. She studied authors like Florence Scovel Shinn and Ernest Holmes, becoming a minister of the church. Confronting cancer using affirmations and natural practices, she claimed to have defeated it with this approach, although it is not medically confirmed. She published You Can Heal Your Life in 1984, a bestseller translated into over 30 languages. Actively supporting people affected.
You are the only thought and feeling you have in this moment. When the diagnosis of cervical cancer poured into Louise Hay's life like a turbid river, it wasn't merely a clinical stage but transformed into an epical passage, a crucial turning point. That moment of unthinkable upheaval catalyzed an inner transformation, turning a woman into a tenacious researcher, seeking a path to healing that wove through the pathways of holistic and natural medical practices. A journey that, along its winding trajectory, not only taught her to heal wounds but, above all, to embrace and nurture self-love. In Hay's vision, our minds are the crucible from which emerge the disorders that afflict our being, both physically and emotionally. In this context, she proclaims the powerful and radical possibility of overcoming such issues through a metamorphosis of thought. These luminous perspectives channel Hay's transformative methodology, weaving a fabric where not only practical tools are dispensed but also offering a luminous trail of inspiration to follow. Through these illuminated pages, one glimpses the art of cleansing the mind, unburdening it from the accumulated baggage like dust in the corners of a house. One learns to embrace and accept the past, not as an insurmountable burden but as an evolutionary stage of one's essence. And above all, one learns the art of governing thoughts, shaping and directing them, like a rudder guiding the ship of one's destiny. You are the only thought and feeling you have in this moment. These words, steeped in wisdom and truth, echo through the pages of this treatise, emphasizing the essence of transformation, a deep immersion into one's inner sphere, an awakening to the power of positive thinking. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for those who love you, for those who love you so much that they are willing to allow you to live your life with more joy and fullness. In this invitation resonates the echo of the supreme gift, the possibility of embracing one's transformation not only for oneself but also for those who surround one's being, recognizing that the joy and fullness of living spread like ripples from the edge of a lake, involving and enriching the lives of others. It might seem like a daring path, a journey into the often unexplored depths of one's being. Yet, it is also an invitation to liberation, an opportunity to embrace one's life in all its shades, in the folds of the past and in the dazzling promises of the future. This journey, undertaken by Louise Hay and shared in these pages, is an invitation to explore, embrace, and live one's life with renewed vigor and awareness. It is a beacon that illuminates the path to healing, offering not only the perspective of transformation but also the promise of a life embraced with love and understanding.
The power of our thoughts in creating reality. Within Louise Hay's vast transformative journey of self-healing, the essential first step lies in a seemingly simple awareness: you are responsible for everything that unfolds in the fabric of your existence. Though this doesn't imply your direct responsibility for every single event, like a flat tire on your car, it calls you to account for how you react to each circumstance. If the tendency to nurture compassion for yourself dominates your being with a "this always happens to me" attitude, you might feel immersed in an unlucky world full of mishaps. This occurs because every single thought, every strand of thoughts woven in the present moment, shapes the reality you experience. Here, then, lies the crux of the message: we manifest whatever we think. Though this power might seem like a tremendous responsibility, there's solace in knowing that the universe, the higher power, or whatever form one chooses to define it, is by your side. It supports you in every desire to manifest, without judgment, offering you what you ask for. However, the dilemma creeps in as, while the universe embraces you without judgment, you continue to judge yourself incessantly. Your subconscious, faithful to your thoughts, might hold a distorted and negative image of yourself. Phrases like "I'm too stupid," "too lazy," "too short," or "too tall" are nothing but variations of a single belief: I'm not good enough. But it's not your fault. These beliefs were ingrained during childhood, arising from unattended observations of adults, deeply rooting themselves within you. Once formed, these thoughts continued to influence you over time, shaping reality in accordance with them. Because, as Hay emphasizes, we manifest what we think. The path of healing, according to this approach, begins with reversing your attitude toward the past. One key to this lies in practicing forgiveness, granting forgiveness to those who have hurt you, to the adults whose words inflicted invisible wounds. And don't forget your parents, even if they may have been far from perfect. Holding on to resentment and anger only imprisons you, while forgiveness is the key to releasing those burdens, freeing yourself, and taking responsibility for your happiness. Your beliefs create your reality. These words resonate as a powerful call to deep self-reflection, highlighting the intrinsic
Discovering self-love, abandoning limiting beliefs. On the path to self-love, the first step is to uproot the limiting beliefs that hinder fully manifesting one's self-esteem. Whether it's a persistent backache, incessant migraines, lack of inspiration for artists, or a constant struggle to make ends meet, each of these issues finds a common point of origin: the lack of self-love. The concept may seem more theoretical than practical, but where does one begin? The crux of this message is unmistakable: the first step on the journey to self-love is to eliminate limiting beliefs. Often, each of us has a list of shoulds, a series of supposed actions or ways of being that we self-impose. But let's reflect: who says we should really adopt those behaviors? Often, these impositions breed guilt and self-condemnation, stiffening our ability to love ourselves. Perhaps it's time for a change in perspective, to shift the focus towards what we could do. Could is a word that opens up countless possibilities. So, why not ask ourselves, why haven't I tapped into all the possibilities I had? The answer might lie in the ways we don't practice self-love. Perhaps we excessively criticize ourselves, or maybe we abuse our bodies with harmful substances. Maybe we diminish our capabilities, linger in toxic relationships, or constantly procrastinate. Each detrimental action only solidifies the lack of self-trust, fueling a subconscious undertone suggesting that we don't deserve better. Examining our actions becomes crucial, an act of mental cleansing that goes beyond surface regrets. It's an opportunity to revisit memories, reassess those that cause discomfort, and rid ourselves of those that are now superfluous. This process not only allows for confronting limiting beliefs but also becoming aware of them. Once this purification of the past is done, it's time to focus on the present. This moment, the here and now, represents our primary field of action. Why waste it by living in the past when we can, right now, begin practicing control over our thoughts? The ability to love oneself is the key to a full and satisfying life. This teaching, rooted in Louise Hay's wisdom, resonates as an invitation to profound inner change, a journey toward self-awareness and self-care.
The power of the present. Every thought shapes your reality. In the early morning hours, when dark clouds veil the sky and the thought, "What a terrible day," arises as a habitual lament, let's pause for a moment and critically examine that judgment. What's truly terrible about that day? Is it the air's humidity or the grayness of the sky? The truth is, the only deterrent to making that day unpleasant lies in the negative attitude forged around it. This is the heart of the message. Your power resides in the present moment, and every thought creates your reality. The good news is that your thoughts can be transformed. Start by examining some of the negative thoughts that might cling to your mind. Perhaps you think you're unlovable because you're not in a relationship, or you attribute your health to a familial genetic predisposition. It could also be that melancholy attaches itself to you because it seems to have always been there. But these are just thought patterns, and you're here precisely to overturn them. However, this requires a willingness to change. Instead of sinking into despair or lashing out against others, it's crucial to recognize that the only way to channel a tangible difference in your life lies in changing your thoughts and behaviors. This idea often meets resistance, but the more one clings to old beliefs, the more vital it becomes to let them go. One way to initiate this process is by repeating to yourself, "I am willing to change." Touch your throat as you say it. It's an important energy center. Approach the mirror and meet your gaze. "I am willing to change." What sensations arise? Uncertainty? Discomfort? Excitement? Fear? Whatever it is, let that feeling pass through you without judgment, simply observing it for what it is. In the journey of emotional self-rebirth, the work in front of the mirror proves to be a powerful tool. It reflects all the negative thoughts you may hold toward yourself, feelings,
El lenguaje silencioso del cuerpo, escuchar sus revelaciones internas. Tu cuerpo es como un mensajero silencioso, tratando de comunicarte las señales de lo que está sucediendo dentro de ti. Probablemente te sientas abrumado solo de pensarlo, los problemas que tus pensamientos pueden generar parecen un mar infinito. Sin embargo, el autor agrega una pieza inquietante: tus pensamientos también podrían generar consecuencias físicas. Observa detenidamente cómo tu cuerpo refleja tus creencias negativas sobre ti mismo. Persistir en estos pensamientos puede dar lugar a manifestaciones tangibles. ¿Dudas de esto? Observa a cualquiera que ande con una expresión hosca en el rostro. ¿Imaginas que esos pensamientos son de felicidad? Este es el punto central de toda la cuestión. Tu cuerpo está tratando de comunicar lo que está sucediendo dentro de ti. Tómate un tiempo para escuchar. El autor atribuye significados simbólicos a los trastornos físicos. Por ejemplo, el cabello se ve como la manifestación de la fuerza interior, por lo que la calvicie podría derivarse de tensiones y miedos arraigados. Los dolores de oído y los problemas de audición pueden provenir de una rabia no expresada hacia lo que estás escuchando. De manera similar, la ceguera podría surgir del rechazo a ver algo, mientras que los dolores de cabeza podrían originarse en la negativa a validar la propia identidad. De aquí, la conexión entre las migrañas y el perfeccionismo se hace evidente. El autor, en última instancia, atribuye una raíz común a todos los problemas de salud: el miedo y la ira. Aunque se manifiesten en formas variadas como impaciencia, resentimiento, celos o ansiedad, estos sentimientos, si se alimentan, se convierten en veneno para el cuerpo. Por lo tanto, sugiere abordar con curiosidad cada trastorno físico. Ya sea estreñimiento, varices, artritis o dolor de garganta, pregúntate qué representa esa parte.
In search of hidden goodness, when resistance reveals profound truths. When you feel that sense of discomfort arise, what do? Do you flee the situation? Change the subject? Avoid direct eye contact? Perhaps you dive into busy tasks or engage in frantic house cleaning. Or do you simply get lost endlessly scrolling through your phone? Whatever your personal escape, it's all resistance. But resistance to what, exactly? That's precisely the crux. The author suggests that all your problems stem from patterns and beliefs ingrained over time. They've been your companions for so long that they often escape your awareness. Overcoming them, therefore, requires making them conscious, and resistance is a valuable beacon. What sensations did you experience in front of the mirror just a moment ago? If it felt silly or inadequate, resistance might unveil a refusal to look at yourself or accept yourself. The core of this perspective is, resistance uncovers the problem, and the problem uncovers the need. Have you ever experienced that moment when an idea was presented to you, and you thought, but how would that make a difference? My situation is unique. It doesn't seem right for me. All these assumptions and limiting beliefs are forms of resistance. Another example? Giving power to others: my partner wouldn't like it, or it's their fault. Or even constraining your own conception: I'm too old for this, too weak, not smart enough. Resistance also manifests as a barrier to change: I don't have time to think about it now. I'll do it later. And impatience? It's another shade of resistance, because if something can't be done now, why bother? Then there's denial, fear: what if I fail? What if I get hurt? What if I'm rejected? All that unites these forms of resistance, the author claims, is that they prevent discovering and loving your true self. Just as resistance points the way to problems, the problems themselves indicate the path to needs. Whether you're trapped in toxic relationships or a cycle of procrastination, binging, or dependency, these behaviors conceal deep needs.
Through change, letting go of the past, embracing the new. In the journey of healing and releasing toxic habits, one often encounters moments of discomfort and tension. Imagine your inner child as a rebel, accustomed to prolonging the moment of rest as much as they please. Now, working to abandon resistance is like establishing a strict sleep schedule. Initially, there might be rebellion, protests, but maintain this discipline, and soon a new routine will stabilize. It is there that you will discover, perhaps for the first time, that you are in control. As this process unfolds, pay attention to feelings of discomfort. Change may create friction in relationships, both personal and professional. Abandoning old habits or thought patterns leads to looking at life more clearly, and discomfort becomes an indicator of what no longer works for you. The core of this perspective is, to change, you must let go of the past and look to the future. Now you have greater control over your thoughts, aware that your reality is shaped by what you choose to think. Instead of remaining anchored in stubbornness and anger, turn to yourself with affirmations like, "Change is a process that becomes easier for me." It may seem simple or trivial, but the author firmly believes that speaking such affirmations aloud aligns your energy with the universal power flowing within you. As you become more inclined to free yourself from harmful behaviors, you will notice how much easier it is to let go of the weight of the past. What you truly control is your current thought. Why waste this precious energy clinging to ancient pains and resentments? Instead, imagine yourself as that child from the past. Look into the eyes of that younger self and grasp the desire for love that still persists. Embrace this inner child, envelop them with all the love and tenderness you can muster. Speak kind words, saying, "I love you," and let yourself know how precious you are.
Internal revolution, the transformative power of positive affirmations. Have you ever heard those thoughts whispering within you? "I wish I weren't always broke," or "I don't want to be so overweight, lonely, unhappy"? Although they may seem like the starting point, the author emphasizes that these negative thoughts, if repeated, bring negativity into your life. The fundamental core here is, the secret to loving yourself is learning to think in positive affirmations. What would be the solution? The author argues that it's actually quite simple. Start by rephrasing all those negative statements into positive affirmations. "I am successful, I am healthy, I have loving people in my life, I am happy and joyful." By orienting your perspective positively, you are directing your attention towards improvement. But there's an important detail: always make sure to formulate your affirmations in the present. If you say, "I want to be healthy" or "I will be successful," your subconscious continues to defer it indefinitely. With these positive affirmations, you are embarking on the journey of self-acceptance. As you adopt this practice, begin regularly repeating phrases to yourself like, "I approve of myself." As you start feeling better, the author advises developing greater awareness. Which thoughts bring you joy? Which activities and people give you positive energy? Move away from things that bring you down and move towards what fills you with joy. If you've ever cultivated a garden, you know that growing plants takes time. But when the first leaves emerge from the soil, you feel indescribable joy. Learning to love yourself is similar. Love is the seed, affirmations are the water, and positive thoughts are the sun. Although this process can be challenging, avoid seeing it as hard work. You can support it by getting excited about this new skill you are developing, loving yourself. There are many other ways to support this journey. A daily gratitude list to remind you of the richness of your life. Meditation and exercise to strengthen the mind and body. In the evening, avoid letting sadness and negative news on your phone dominate you. Bless the day and sleep in serenity. The right to peace and happiness is yours from birth, it's what the universe desires for you. If this tranquility seems unreachable, it might mean you're not in tune with yourself. Start your journey by replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations. As you learn to love yourself, the universe will pour its joy abundantly at your feet. Here are practical tips that can change your life. Daily practice of affirmations. Choose a few positive affirmations to focus on every day. Write them on a piece of paper at least 20 times. Recite them out loud fervently and carry them with you throughout the day. These words will soon become your beliefs. Thank you for listening to this audiobook. We ask you to support us by subscribing to the channel by clicking on the bell so you will receive notifications for every new audiobook we publish. Leave us a comment on the audiobook you just listened to or the title of a book you would like to find in the channel, summarized for listening. Until next time.